You're listening to the Talking Wolves fans' reactions for the 24-25 Premier League season.
Well, Wolves have hit a new low tonight, losing 4-0 to Everton at Goodison Park, a team who before today hadn't scored in 4, had scored 1 in 5, and Wolves made them look like Brazil circa 2002. Absolutely disgraceful performance from virtually everyone on the pitch. There wasn't a player today, maybe bar Santi Bueno, but he's come in, he'll get stick just like the rest, because they deserve it. But the most stick needs to go on Gary O'Neill. That man should have been out of the job before the international break, where we had a chance to bring someone new in. And now we're up there with, West Ham, and Southampton are also going to be wanting to move their managers on, I imagine, soon. And now it's going to be a fight for who can get the best one in the market. Whether anyone wants to come to us, the shit show that is our football club at the moment, I'm not sure, because I sure wouldn't. If I was David Moyes or Graham Potter, it would take a lot of money for me to kind of part with my, current work, whatever they're doing, to take on Wolves and steer us clear of relegation. Before today, maybe before Bournemouth, I was confident that the squad was good enough to keep us out from being relegated, but today was a damning indictment of where this football club is. And I've accepted the fact that we are almost certainly going down. Players are not playing for the manager anymore. They might be playing for the club, but what I saw today was disgraceful. Couldn't pass a ball more than 5 yards without giving it away, resorting to hoofball, getting dominated in every facet of the pitch. Every 50-50, every second ball we lost to Everton today. They absolutely bullied us in both boxes, and we didn't look like scoring at any point. I think our XG was 0.6 or something like that. Usually I'd be confident that we're going to score goals. Today we didn't even come close. And every time Everton came forward, every time there was a set piece, a corner, I shit myself because I just knew what was going to happen. Went to 5 at the back, didn't work. Lamina, a makeshift centre-back, doesn't work. Worked at Fulham. It's a one-off when they had 10 men. Dawson looked shit. He's shot to pieces at his age. And what topped it off was you've got Santi, who is our best performing centre-back by a long way. There's a reason he doesn't get the plaudits he deserves, because he does his job properly as a centre-back. If you're quiet, that's a good thing. If you're not making last-ditch errors because you fucked up the minute before or the phaser play before, that's a good thing. He takes Santi off, probably because he's half fit, maybe, but he leaves Dawson on, a guy who was on a hat-trick of own goals, and that just sums us up. 4 goals shipped against Bournemouth, 4 goals shipped against Everton. Today, 2 own goals, Bournemouth 3 penalties. Relegation form, relegation standard, relegation management of the club from top to bottom, and I've had enough of it. So, 4-0 Everton, disgraceful, and I'll see you in the next one.
So it's finished. Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Everton 4. I don't even know what to say. I'm going to be honest on these. I make notes normally and try and justify and reason things, but this is a tough one. I'm going to be honest doing this video. First off, with team selection, the worrying thing is Gary O'Neill probably got the team selection right. There'd have been majority of Wolves fans probably would have made those changes. Maybe not Lamine in the back line, but apart from that, there wasn't much he got wrong there. You probably would have gone with those team sheets. Obviously, Semedo would have come in for Doherty, but that's probably the strongest team sheet you probably could have put out. Guedes started on the right-hand side. And he made a few different touches, a few different bits of impact on play as well. But again, as always, he was taken off first. To which the away fans did obviously cheering, chanting, don't know what you're doing. We just seemed to lack energy, lack pressure from the start. The team seemed a bit so lethargic. I think that's obviously just a reflection of what's been happening recently. I think that's what it is. They build up things. And it's not anything that really surprised, really. I said before the game, Dawson was making his 300th game for Wolves, 300th game, his 300th game in the Premier League. And he decided to drop an absolute shocker, didn't he, Dawson? He's someone I've defended so many times on this channel. Love him, lovely, great player, but last couple of games he's put some shockers in. But this ball's back to Sarr. He started it off with the ball's played in behind him, and he let it run through, and he shouldn't let it run through. And Sarr was coming, then Sarr wasn't coming, and it's followed on straight from what we did last week. earlier in the week, I mean. Set pieces. We sacked our set piece coach. I'm laughing because he's an absolute joke now, laughable really. We sacked our set piece coach a couple of weeks ago, and we made no improvement on set piece whatsoever. I feel sorry for that poor lad. He was quite clearly the scapegoat for the whole situation. Gary O'Neill then said, I'm going to take responsibility for set pieces, and then we've conceded even more goals from set pieces. So read that, make of that what you will. I mean, that speaks volumes, doesn't it? Doherty, right wing back. Obviously, I haven't seen that for a long time, for a good few years now. I thought Doherty did okay. He made a couple of nice movements. Obviously, hit the post. Had a nice ball in for Larson. Another little bits of combination play. He didn't do too bad in fairness. That's the only positive I can really think of that. Andre was better than he was last game as well. He got involved more. But I mean, man of the match was Ashley Young, a 40-year-old fullback, was man of the match. And we made Everton look really good. I mean, we just bounced off them. They seem to have loads of time. Second balls, they'll win everything. And I think the problem is now the players have lost it. That's the biggest thing. Before we were together, the players have lost the hope now. They see like the motivation and confidence is absolutely on the floor now. And you can see we're trying to cross the ball back and we instead of getting a corner, we get a goal kick, and the frustration was the players. And you just think they're not believing it now. And I think that's obviously. Hopefully, you never know, by the time this video goes out, he'll probably be gone, I imagine. If he doesn't, Wolves will go down with him. He'll take Wolves down. There's no doubt about that. I think whoever does come in, they've got a serious job to do now. It's going to be tough. It is a real rebuild now. I think if Wolves survive this season, I think this could be as good a comeback, if not more, than what Lopetegui did when he took over. Because obviously, we had the World Cup break then. This time, we haven't got that sort of stuff. I just feel the morale is horrendously on the floor. There's this Sky and Amazon Prime, wherever the broadcasters are, they all say, no, we've got some important games coming up. The last 2 or 3 games have been important games. Do you know what I mean? It's like Everton was a massive game today, and we didn't get anything from this. And we can see 4 goals against Everton. And it's like, they keep saying these important games are coming up next. The games have just gone. So where are we going to start picking up points? That's the question, isn't it? But hopefully, I've said to you on the weekend on the channel for some of the videos, I was Gary O'Neill out then. I'm still Gary O'Neill out. I'm presuming everyone else is. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we see the corner flag on Twitter. And see if there's obviously some changes but we'll see what happens the next few days. Maybe at West Ham. We probably won't hopefully have a new different manager in place. Right. Catch you on the next one. Cheers.
Right, enough's enough. Get him out. Get him gone. Absolute disgrace this evening away at Everton, who before today had averaged less than a goal a game, and they stick 4 of the softest goals you'll ever see past us. I mean, what a good job we sacked the set piece coach. I mean, you know, what a shocking job he was doing. So good job Gary O'Neill took responsibility for those set pieces and sacked him quickly. Otherwise, we might concede a few more goals from set pieces. Just absolutely shocking. Looks like a season too far for Dawson, as good as he has been for us in previous years. Absolute disaster class today. You know, two own goals. The one that's come in from the corner, it's hit his hand and gone in. Why is his hand even there? Just head the ball. The striker's missed it. Just head it away. What's he doing? Protecting his face, making sure he doesn't get hurt. I can't believe what I've seen today. I mean, right from the get-go, the formation is terrible. Why Lamina is back in at centre-half again today. He was absolutely terrible against Bournemouth on Saturday. Somehow survived the 90 minutes. And then we start again with him today at centre-half. Gone back to a 5 at the back. And we look no more solid with 5 at the back than we do at 4. 2 in midfield, got completely overrun. Andre and Gomez can't play together. Doesn't matter if you stick Lamina in there as well. The 3 of them are even worse than the 2. Individually, don't get me wrong, all very, very good players. Andre in particular, I really like, really rate, and I think all of them, I think, other than Lamina, Gomez and Andre will definitely go on to bigger and better things, but too similar. They're too similar. We need an attacking midfielder in that midfield, someone that can get on the ball, somebody like a Doyle who can get on the ball, play a ball, unlock the defence. But we basically had 5 at the back. Doherty, I mean, we had to play him because Semedo was out, so fair enough. But no real width, no real attacking threat. Kuna out on one wing, Guides out on the other, Larson pretty much all on his own through the middle, and we just got absolutely nowhere. And I mean, the first goal, can't even set up a wall. I mean, what hope have you got if you can't set up a wall? I mean, he's barely even bent it round Lamina to stick it in the corner. What is Sarr doing? How has he set up his wall like that? And how many times are we going to learn, or how many times it take before we learn, that their striker is just pinning Sarr in for every corner? Every other team you see puts a defender on him and pushes him out the way. But I just don't get it. I'm not Totti's biggest fan at all, but I thought actually had a good game against Bournemouth. Thought he had a good game against Fulham. Yet he was dropped today, despite being obviously a natural centre half, and we play Lamina there instead. And as for Hwang as the first substitute, I don't even know. Gary O'Neill gets sacked for that alone, to be honest. Hwang is either scoring goals or he's awful, and he hasn't scored a goal in a long, long time. So that just tells you the sort of performances he's been putting in. And do you know what? After Southampton and Fulham, I thought, yeah, maybe we've turned a corner, maybe we're getting somewhere. But 8 goals shipped to Bournemouth and Everton, and actually, I'm more angry today than I was with the Bournemouth performance. Bournemouth was individual defensive errors. Yeah, Dawson, Sarr, just individual shockers, howlers, whatever you want to call them. Today it was just all over the pitch, not up for it, not running, not chasing, no passion, no desire, just nothing. Just absolutely nothing from back to front. I really just don't know what to say about that performance, but he got the setup all wrong, the defending's all wrong, the set pieces are just woeful. And I don't think Pickford made a save. Other than kind of stuff straight at him, I really don't think he had a difficult afternoon at all. And even at 4-0 down, I mean, we change a centre-half at 4-0 down, which I don't get. We bring a winger on at right back. I guess he's trying to go forward, maybe. But Everton could have had another 2 or 3. If that had finished 5, 6, 7-0, I couldn't have complained. It wouldn't have been an unfair result. And like I say, this is an Everton team that before today has scored less than 1 a game. And we've conceded 8 in back-to-back games. Bournemouth at home, Everton away, and we've conceded 8 goals. This isn't Man City, it's not Liverpool, it's not Arsenal. It's Bournemouth and Everton, and we've conceded 8 goals. And there's only one way we're going. We got this supposed hard run out the way, although last season we had 11 points from those same games that we got 2 from this season. So that probably tells you all about how hard those games actually really should have been. But we get 2 points out of 11, supposedly going into an easy run. We draw the first 2, win the next 2, and you think, oh, maybe it's clicking, maybe something's going to happen. And then we drop two performances like that. And I didn't think before today that he'd lost the dressing room, but I really do now. I think he's lost them. I think they've gone. I don't think they're interested. I think they're trying to do what he's telling them to do, and it's just not working. I mean, the attacking pattern of play, when you watch that today, what was the actual plan to try and score a goal? I mean, there's no plan to keep them out, but what was the actual plan to try and get forward? And I said last season, the only way we scored last season was Neto or Kuna beating a couple of men, producing a bit of magic, and the ball ends up in the back of the net. This season, Neto's gone, so unless Kuna produces a bit of magic for the ball to end up in the back of the net, we have no idea how to score a goal. And I don't buy into all of this, he doesn't have the tools, he needs better players. This team are more than good enough. I'm not saying we should be in Europe. I'm not even saying we should be top half. But they're more than good enough to not ship 8 goals in those last 2 games. And that's without all the other games we've conceded 5, 6, and all the other nonsense that's happened this season. These players are more than good enough to not be conceding 8 goals in these last 2 games. And I just don't understand it. And similarly, going forward, that those players that are on the pitch today, even the ones that started, which I think he got the starting formation wrong and the starting lineup wrong, but those players are more than good enough to get a goal against Everton. And we didn't even really create a chance. Pickford didn't really make a save. Couple early doors that Larson should have done better with, but we concede a goal, heads go down, we concede another goal, heads go down more, we concede another goal, heads go down more, concede another goal. It's the same pattern week after week after week. And I can't deal with it anymore. He's got to go.
Everton 4, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Bookmark the date, the 4th of December 2024, because it is arguably the darkest day that Wolves have had since relegation to League One in 2013. This club is on its knees. It is on its knees. It's a disgrace from top to bottom. And the man that is catching the most flack for it, he's a disgrace. He needs to leave. If he had any dignity, he would have resigned weeks ago. Gary O'Neill has to get sacked tonight. Tonight. Not tomorrow. Not on Monday, after we inevitably lose to West Ham. Now. He should have gone after we lost to Brentford, was the final straw for a lot of people. I was borderline giving him that. But after that, everything after that has been on this board for keeping a man with no qualifications. A smug, arrogant man that doesn't know how to set a team up defensively, and giving him the reins to destroy what is undoubtedly a talented squad. But my God, does this squad have a lot of pretenders in it? Because you can see through them. You could see through them tonight, and you can see through them so far this season. They are fooling no one. They are fooling no one with this, oh, we care act. Mario Lemina crying after Liverpool when they beat us at home. Please, please. Come on, his performances this season as club captain have been nothing short of a disgrace. Seriously, if it wasn't for Mateus Cunha, this side would be bottom of the Premier League and of no points. I would argue. They've been utterly disgraceful. Deplorable is what I'd call them. And this club stinks from top to bottom at the minute. They've just let Everton, a side managed by Sean Dyche, who's now beaten Wolves 4-0 twice in the last 3 years, might I add. And a Sean Dyche team I don't think has ever scored 4 goals before. Now, they have not scored in 4 matches. They've not scored in 4 games. They have just scored 4 goals against Wolves. Actually, they've scored 2, because Craig Dawson, what has happened to him? Decided to score 2 for them. He's a disgrace, by the way. He is awful. If I had a cynical enemy, which I do with this club at the minute, come on, played for West Brom for years, and he's putting in performances like that for Wolves, like he did on Saturday with that pass back to Sa. Another disgrace. 4 goals on Saturday, 4 goals today. When is this going to end? Sa, he's another one as well. I had a go at him last year, and I gave him the benefit of the doubt this year. I wanted him to stay and go. He can get out now. We paid 10 million for Sam Johnston. He cannot be worse. He cannot be worse because he's pathetic, weak, and nimble. Jose Sa came into the crowd on Saturday, and the South Bank backed him. And South Bank got behind him. I was there, and I was thinking, well, if it's just abuse, as long as it's not something too over the top, the fan is perfectly within his rights to give out to him. Because what he did on Saturday was make massive errors. What he did tonight, make massive errors. Weak. Pathetic, I would argue. Seriously, every single one of them. Ryan Aït-Nouri this evening, anonymous. The 3 midfielders, João Gomez, not there. Andre, not with it. Strand Larson, nothing really. Cunha, tonight, as was on Saturday, nothing, but I will leave him alone because he's the only hope in this team. But Gary O'Neill has to go tonight. 36 goals conceded in 14 matches. 36. Someone do the maths rate, but I'd say we are careering towards letting in 100 goals this season. It is a joke. It is an utter disgrace how Wolves have been run. Selling Max Kilman and not buying a replacement, a player that played every minute of last season, and not buying a replacement and spending £10 million on a goalkeeper who was not that much more of an upgrade, if any, of the one that we currently had, was brutal squad management. Brutal. And Gary O'Neill and Matt Hobbs would have signed off on that. And Matt Hobbs gets away with a lot here. And it's time people started calling him out for what this is. Because what it is a failure on his part and a failure on Jeff Shee's part to have not got rid of this clown sooner. And also have not made proper signings in the summer, leaving the squad threadbare where they have to play Mario Lemina centre-back at Fulham. And luckily we got a first result in God knows how long there. But you could clearly see that wasn't going to work long term. So what did he do? Played Lemina centre-back on Saturday. Okay, don't change a winning team. I can just about cope with that. At 2-1 on Saturday, after 15 minutes, he should have hauled a player off and got one of those centre-halves on and not waited till half-time. Seriously. And Craig Dawson has played every minute since then and he's been shit. Honest to God. It has been woeful from Wolves this season so far. And you try and hold counsel, and you try and reserve judgment on them, and try and give them mitigating factors. It's been a shit start with the fixtures. It was terrible. It fell wrong for them. All of that is true. All of that is true. But The fact of the matter is, they are in such deep trouble. They look disinterested. They look off it. Nobody in that squad looks like they are capable of fighting for the shirt or bringing anything to the table apart from Mateus Cunha and maybe one or two others. It is a terrible moment to be a Wolverhampton Wanderers fan, and they are heading at a frighteningly fast pace towards the Championship. And it's all because of the board, Jeff Shee, Matt Hobbs and Gary O'Neill. Gary O'Neill better be gone by the time this video goes out. David Moyes or Graham Potter. But I wouldn't blame either of them if they didn't want this job. Fact of the matter is, this board likes Steve Cooper. It'll probably be him. Maybe they might tempt Rob Edwards from 20th in the Championship with Luton. Because that is what you're dealing with here. That is what you're dealing with. And for Wolves to be in the position where they are, the goals they conceded tonight were pathetic. They let 5 or 6 in. Let's be real here. The offside goal that Tarkowski had disallowed to stop him from going 2-0. If that was against Wolves, I'd be raging. I can see why it was disallowed, obviously, because Mangala was blocking Lamina. But come on, the first goal, Ashley Young, Jose Sark shouldn't set up a wall. Free kick. His goalkeeping is awful. The third goal, they've all morphed into one now. Another set piece. Dawson putting 2 into his own net. Sark claiming he's foul. Be stronger. Be stronger. Come on. Honestly, I would say I'm at a loss for words, but I've spoken for nearly 7 minutes on the shambles of what this club is at the minute. And it's not an overreaction, because this has been bubbling for weeks. And people, I was there at Fulham, and the away fans, brilliant. The away fans tonight turned. They turned, and they turned big time. And they started singing songs about the good days, the days 4 or 5 years ago, when we acted like a proper football club, when we played like a proper football club, when we had a proper manager in charge of our football club in Nuno Espirito Santo. And people would move heaven and earth to have him back right now. Because what we've got is a cheap imitation, and it is not what I want associated with Wolves. And people talk about standards. We lost 4-2 at home to Bournemouth on Saturday, giving away 3 penalties in one of the most comically terrible performances I've ever seen from a Premier League side. Who gives away 3 penalties at home? And after the match, yourself, man, clap them. They clap them. I mean, come on. And they did. And I don't want anyone telling me they didn't, because I was there. They clapped them. Now, that is a joke. There should have been abuse. There should have been boos. The fans need to communicate to the players this is not good enough. And that's credit to the away fans, because I heard them tonight at 3 and 4-0 down. They're an absolute credit to the club. And they are the backbone. Like, when the away fans go, you know you've lost it. And Gary O'Neill lost them at Brentford. And they tried at Fulham. But like a few tried to sing Gary O'Neill's Birmingham, it didn't like really ever get into something, because people have known the writing's on the wall for him. The writing is on the wall for Wolves this season. And I can't see them turning this around now. They've just been turned over by the team that finds scoring goals the hardest in the Premier League, and they've let 4 in against them, and 4 in last week against Bournemouth. If anybody thinks that's acceptable, your standards are on the floor. This is Wolverhampton Wanderers Football Club. We're not saying we should be competing for Europe or winning trophies. But what we are saying is you should give a minimum of 100%. And you should have people that are in competent positions, not someone that fluked staying up with Bournemouth after they spent 80 million in January in charge of your club, with a win ratio worse than pretty much everyone, I think, bar Dean Saunders and maybe Solbakken at Wolves. He's the worst manager I've seen in this club in over a decade. He's got to go tonight. And if he's in charge for the match against West Ham on Monday, we may as well all pack up and go home. Everton 4, Wolves 0. Gary O'Neill out now.
Everton 4, Wolves 0. I don't even know where to start. I've been gathering my thoughts for about 10-15 minutes now and thinking, is there anything positive to say? And I'm thinking, well, this was okay or this, but realistically there was absolutely nothing positive to say from that whatsoever. Genuinely awful from minute 1 to full time. Awful. Starting 11, every single player out there should be ashamed. That was honestly awful. And I know we blame Gary O'Neill, and Gary O'Neill is to blame for 70, 80, 90% of this, but the players out there as well just were absolutely awful. When it was 2, 3, 4-0, just you saw Everton players just crunching to tackles, wanting to win it. And at the end, there should have been 6, 7, 8 goals up. Easily. The 4 goals were to sum it up shortly, there was set pieces, awful Wolves zone and marking and defending, and Craig Dawson own goals. I think that sums up all 4 goals quite well. Like I said, there should have been more. The one that was disallowed in the first half, I thought it was a goal. I didn't think Lamina was involved in play whatsoever, to be honest, and he could have blocked him off for all he liked. Even if Mangala wasn't even there blocking Lamina, he still would have scored it. Still would have scored it quite simply. But yeah, genuinely awful. One of the worst performances I've seen in a long time. I wasn't there for Bournemouth, so luckily, so I didn't get to see that performance, but I know it wasn't great, and this just seems even worse. This seems kind of the lowest of the low at the moment. If he's still here by the morning, by 9 a.m, and I don't see that corner flag tweet, I'll be genuinely shocked. But on the other hand, am I really with this board? Do I trust them to make any decision right at the moment? Not really. So it's difficult. It's bleak. It's really bad. I haven't really seen this bad in a long while. But if we carry on like this and we keep with O'Neill, we're just sleepwalking to relegation, to the Championship. It's as simple as that. And the players we've got, we should not be in this position whatsoever. With Everton, letting Everton score 4 goals against us, like I said, should have been 5-6 who couldn't buy a goal this season. Come up, yeah, here you go, score 4. And us with our attacking prowess get absolutely nowhere near the goal. No attacking awareness, no chemistry whatsoever. Genuinely awful. Every single player out there was awful. But we go again on Wednesday. Fingers crossed it's a new manager, but realistically, it's going to be Gary O'Neill. But yeah, bleak, really bleak.
Thanks for joining me this Wednesday midweek match at Goodison Park. The last time we'll play them there because they're moving to a new ground. Boy, it was grim. 4-0 against Everton. They haven't scored 4 at home in the Premier since 2020, and it's us. And since Gary O'Neill's took over now, that's 101 goals conceded and 36 this season. So it's 4 goals conceded in 2 consecutive games. We've been hit for a 6, a 5 and a 4 twice. And Everton were struggling really badly. And Dawson now, he's only the 5th player to score 2 own goals in the same match. The first thing to comment on was the starting 11, because Totti Gomez was dropped, and he in defence, Mario Lemina kept his place, and in for the suspended Nelson Semedo was Matt Doherty. And the game didn't start off very well, because after a minute, Ait-Nouri played in Strand Larsen, and he couldn't sort his feet out. He looked like a giraffe on ice as he swung his left foot and totally miscued it. And Ashley Young put them ahead after about 6 minutes, a free kick around it's got to be a poor wall. And in the first half an hour, it was a very open game, because Ashley Young had one disallowed from a corner, which would have made it 2-0, because somebody blocked Lamina, and there's possibly an offside. And they had Calvert-Lewin was through on a 1-on-1 and Sarr saved, so they could have had 3, but we could have had, because there was that Strand Larsen one I just referred to, where he swung and hit fresh air, and then Cunha had a shot where Pickford saved it with a strong hand, and Strand Larsen beat Tarkowski and had an effort which was blocked, and there was a cross from the right, and Strand Larsen totally messed it up. He didn't go for it either with his left foot or his right foot, or a diving header. and so it could have been 3 or 4-3 within half an hour. And then Mangala made it 2-0. Our defence was slow to react. He was the first to react there, and it was a deflected goal, and our keeper had no chance. So at half time we went in 2-0 down. We're getting sadly used to this. Even though we had 55% to 45% possession in our favour, there was 8 shots to 5 to them, 4 on target for them, 2 on target for us. But 2-0 half time, it's never good, and obviously the first goal in the second half was going to be very important, and needless to say it went to them. It was too easy. Header straight from a corner onto Calvert-Lewin's head and came off Dawson's arm into the goals, and could have helped the defence, but you shouldn't be scoring goals at that level, like that corner, jumping up, heading it in via the defender's hand. And all the goals were from set pieces. We were terrible today, absolutely terrible, because they went 4-0 up, again an own goal by Dawson. Nobody ever does that deliberately, so it's just one of them things. And all the goals were from set pieces. We were just woeful, absolutely woeful. How can say I don't have no pleasure in calling for the manager's head, but teams change managers for less than that, and even his mother would have struggle to defend him after that. Successive games, shipping 4, and against teams that we were looking forward to playing: Brentford, Everton, and if we lose against West Ham on Monday night, I know they'll be desperate as well, because they lost at home, so we lost away the other night, and Lopetegui's under heavy pressure. Max Kilman, we're playing against them, but 101 goals under O'Neill, that's too many. 36 this season. Every attack must be looking forward to playing against us. But thanks for joining me, and regardless of what happens, we'll keep supporting them, but it can't continue like this. Things have got to change. Bye, thanks.
Sack him.